Everything popular is wrong. Oscar Wilde. This book is for you if you are serious about your time and purpose. Serious enough to ditch the idea of both. The more complex our life is, the more obsessed we become with time. We are taught to manage our time better, plan bigger, and prioritize more, while guilt-tripping after compulsive task switching, distractions, and not being able to focus or stay motivated. We are glued to screens, looking for a temporary relief that perpetuates the constant state of panic about time. We have so many time management and productivity books, but do they actually work? How come we have the best tools available, innovative strategies, highly experienced mentors, the fastest shortcuts, hacks, blueprints, and time-saving templates, and at the same time, nations on medications? Why do we have cutting-edge research on time management and feel more stressed than ever? What if time didn't exist in the way we think? What if all ideas about what we should and could achieve in time were built on an oppressive myth? Time goes hand in hand with one's purpose, doing good and helping others. It drives everything we do, provided we have our basic needs covered. We want to become somebody who matters, someone who makes a difference, so we don't have to die or live with a sense that our life is somehow wasted. The idea of having a purpose is wonderful, except when we don't know what it is or think we are not doing enough and there is not enough time. We think that without a sense of purpose in our lives, we'd feel lost and vulnerable, waste our precious time, and lose the opportunity to help and improve the world. We'd be bored and prone to anxiety and depression and addictions. We believe that having a strong sense of purpose has a lasting, powerful effect. When we have a sense of purpose, we'd never get up in the morning wondering what we are going to do with ourselves. When we are in purpose, life becomes easier and less stressful. We become more laser-focused, and our mind feels somehow strong and taut, with less space for the drama to seep in. Without knowing where we are going and why, without knowing our final destination and the exact steps how to get there, our lives seem meaningless. We dread waking up in confusion with heads full of decisions to make. Having a purpose is a nice idea. We will know when we get there because clarity will replace doubt, consistent action will restore overthinking, and true service will replace pleasing people permanently. But this is a myth. We've been sold a lie about fulfilling our highest potential if we try enough. But what if this trying and effort came with control and manipulation? The whole idea of purpose, conscious entrepreneurship, helping people and the world, and becoming someone who matters in time, perpetuates the underlying feeling that we are never doing enough. There must be more if we only do the right things, and if we ever had enough information to know what those are. You are going to discover that the idea of having a purpose has nothing to do with being fulfilled or happier. The entire idea of time and purpose is based on superstition. If you are feeling stressed, depressed, overwhelmed, or even suicidal, it is not your fault. It is a natural response to the inner conflict between who you are and who you should be. Without looking at time as what it really is, a story, we are stuck in the head race, a race that is fueled by perpetual comparing, feeling disadvantaged, superior, or beating ourselves up for being lazy while missing the natural empire that is already available. Goals and plans. If you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. Woody Allen. I was trained as a business coach. It's all about what do you want? What is your vision for the next 3 months, 6 months, or 5 years? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? How do you want to be remembered when you die? You need to have a vision, otherwise you will perish in doubt, uncertainty, isolation from the true tribe, and the daily chaos of bills, taxes, and screen time. Somehow, the long-term appearance of success matters more than what is now. We are more concerned about having a sustainable marriage in order to appear that we are worthy of love than having actual love today. We passionately discuss a solution for a sustainable planet over a plate of fast food. We fight for human rights and don't notice our spouse is depressed. Planning can be useful, of course. It can be fun. When we are building something concrete like a house, we need a plan. But with life, purpose, our mission to help people and the world, do we really want to compare ourselves to an idea we had 2 years prior of where we want to be? We plan as if between now and what we want in 5 years, everything, including our values, perceptions, and desires, stayed the same. I don't know what I'm going to want in 2 years or in 2 months. I don't even know what I'm going to think or write next moment. Planning comes from the past, and it is perpetuated by a displacement of who we believe we are in the future. And as such, it expresses an aversion to who we are now. We live with the sense that we are not enough. Others are not enough, or we are not doing enough. We just want to get things done, get them over with, to skip to the next better moment. We live for the future moment. And with fixations on the future, our agendas based on strategies to avoid failing lack wisdom. Goals and plans are capricious. If we set to make 5K a month and it happens, soon the goal moves to 7K. This inevitably leads to never satisfaction. Most goals are based on deceptive expectations, not on actuality, leaving us groping in the dark and seeing things that are not there. I spent countless hours in workshops and seminars, visualizing my future and setting goals and making vision boards. I learned manifestation techniques and money attraction tools, and I took talent and personality inventories. I tried to make my goals measurable and specific, infuse them with feelings, and try to visualize them as if I was already there. It seemed like I had some great success at times. I was the first one in my family to get masters in science. I gained 100,000 subscribers on YouTube in 1 year. I've been financially free and traveled the world while working with creative visionaries. But I found nothing from the cultural dream that would be fulfilling permanently. And then, after visualizing the heck out of my life, I noticed that the most amazing things simply happened unexpectedly. I had to make no effort in my thoughts. There is nothing wrong with planning and setting goals. The problem is when we don't know the real purpose of goals, and so we obsess about the right goals and plans, whatever that means. They should ensure that eventually we can throw our obligations away and finally relax and bathe in the feeling we've done enough. This delusion brings an immense amount of pressure to make the right decisions while avoiding mistakes. And this indecision and overthinking cost us more time than we imagine. This alarming cost includes energy, resources, stress, health, relationships, and the constant wasted bandwidth of overthinking. As we move forward with our dreams, we're already overwhelmed with logic, reasoning, and trying to figure out how. Overthinking leads to not taking action. We wish we had more time. We postpone all that really matters to our unique, quirky selves now. We compensate, and we simply can't do what we really want to do. The message in this book is simple. You cannot achieve what you're really looking for in time. I know it might sound unthinkable right now. The deep sense that you have accomplished what you were supposed to in this lifetime has nothing to do with time management, just slowing down, visualizing what we really want, endless removal of unconscious blocks, changing mindsets, reframing or thinking positively, self-improving, being more productive, knowing the best tools, blueprints or shortcuts, having more motivation, strategizing differently, planning better, prioritizing and learning more. None of the rush, indecision, overthinking, and never feeling like you are doing enough is your fault. It has everything to do with discovering that you can never experience time in reality, recognizing how deceptive the storyline in your head is, noticing that what you try to achieve is already available now, but lies in the unexpected, and discovering that your purpose will never fulfill you or make you happy, and what's the alternative? Who is this book for? This book is for the mission-driven entrepreneur, but also anyone who is busy with work or a creative project and feels that time is never enough. You may be addicted to watching numbers and analytics, compulsively watching the digits on your phone, telling you time is running out. It is for the perfectionist who constantly wishes for a little more time and needs a bit more planning. It's for you if you are willing to abandon what you think you know, including the compulsive focus on your vision for a better future. If you find yourself on the treadmill, frequently impatient, overstretching and postponing, and if you've already tried to improve yourself and that's what you do and are losing hope, this book is precisely for you. And this book is for the lone wolf, willing to take the road never traveled, and the silently eccentric thought leader who wants to do good in the world. It is for the exhausted seeker who tried countless self-help tools and spiritual techniques and still hasn't arrived at the place of satisfaction thinking, this is it, I have arrived. This is what I've always wanted. brief overview of how to achieve nothing. In the first chapter, I will share my phenomenal failure and how I discovered the unexpected hidden deep longing. I will introduce the 3 stages of succeeding and why our dream to find lasting success and undisturbance is illusory. The second chapter will expose the giant obstacle that's in the way of jumping out of the stages and ending the time race and strategizing mania. There is always something interfering that we can't put our finger on. It's so fundamental that without recognizing it, you will always be a slave to the dominant lifeless digit on the screen. Without seeing the truth about time, our purpose doesn't matter. Without seeing the obstacle for yourself, it won't matter how much you try, plan, study, strategize, and work on yourself. How we feel at any moment has nothing to do with anything that actually happens. That's why chasing different experiences doesn't actually change anything, only appears to keep us in the race. You will discover that achieving nothing is achieving everything, and it is effortless. There is nothing you have to do, nothing is required. We can only stop achieving this by recognizing that all we want is already available now, and it's hiding in the unexpected. But we can't see the unexpected because we live in a deceptive timeline. In the third chapter, you will discover for yourself that it is never more time you really want. You will be then guided into a deep inquiry into time itself, to realize that you can never experience time in reality. You will see from your direct looking, without any previous notions you have about time, that there is no time in reality. There is no time to be found anywhere, only when we think about it. And so we will look at time as what it really is, a story, a deceptive cover-up story about how to achieve a better not now experience. You will also discover that now is not a moment in time, so you can stop beating yourself up for being in your head all the time, and you will see that our goals and visions about the future show us who we are now, not who we will become. In the fourth chapter, you will be introduced to the time reversal formula. It will show you how deceptive your personal timeline is, and that it is the hope for a better future that keeps you stuck in a never-ending race, stress, impatience, comparing, and overthinking. We are going to look into the world of effort and why we can't solve or achieve what we truly want when we mentally try, struggle, or strategize. After that, we will explore how to come out of the head, because we won't need to be there for this inquiry. Subsequently, we will get familiar with the 2 simple ingredients the formula is comprised of: expectations and hopes. Then, we will simply reverse the hope with expectation about a stressful situation to discover our next action to take. And it is not what you'd expect. In the 5th chapter, we will venture into the very end of your personal timeline. Time implies death. We don't know when we are going to die, so we have to imagine it. And in the meantime, between now and the imaginary deadline, we feel pressured to find our true purpose and make some difference, so our life is not wasted. But you will see how your idea of purpose goes hand in hand with managing this fundamental anxiety by protecting the false self-image living in the deceptive story. In Chapter 6, you will discover that finding or fulfilling your purpose can never make you happy or fulfilled or stop the achieving mania. You will see for yourself that it is the dream of having a purpose that keeps us in the time race. How our hopes provide or increase meaning in life and provide the opportunity for immunity from judgment, death transcendence, for those who conform to those values and standards. In reality, there is no duality. All duality, including good and bad, arises as an appearance in the pirate timeline. You will look at what your true purpose is, and it is not what you think. How to listen to this book. This book is a deep inquiry into the nature of time that could awaken the unexpected parts of you. Inquiry doesn't work on the personality level, but away from it. It blew me away, and most people will find it intolerable. I have no answers for you, only questions. You need to look for yourself. My invitation for you is to suspend what you think you know about how your work, business, or whatever it is that you're doing in your life should be. What you should be achieving by now, how much money you should be making, or what impact you should be making on a specific number of people. This book is not about stress management ideas or eliminating or fixing distractions. This inquiry will guide you to look beyond the illusion, delusions, stories, and assumptions that seem so convincing to the intellect. If you really look for yourself, a new world of unexpected freedom and wealth will open up. My invitation for you is to stop just getting things done. Things in your professional or creative life are not separate from you. They are not there to be done with. They are to be with. Start this moment. Listen slow. Be with the listening without just getting it done with. This book is not written for your intellectual understanding, to store more knowledge. Nobody knows what time is or where time is. Nobody has ever seen it. Nobody has ever touched it. Being timeless is not some woo-woo idea that you can only glimpse over a few tabs of acid. So-called primitive tribes, animals, and young children don't live by the dominant digits on the screen. It is not only possible to be without the constricting thoughts of never enough time, impatience, and overwhelm. It is your true nature.